Thank you very much for your feedback. I'd like to start with my brother behind.
As issues of human rights continues to take center stage across Nigeria, the need for journalists to
The digital
prioritize
one and
human
the
rights-centered journalism
psychological
was
one.
the fulcrum of a two-day specialized training for journalists in the Southeast Zone
security
held
and
in
welfare
Enugu
of the people.
State, organized by the Amnesty International Nigeria with the theme Human Rights-Centered Journalism. The training saw select journalists from various media houses within the zone equipped with knowledge and skills required for effective human rights reporting. Welcoming participants to the event, the Media Communications Officer, Amnesty International, Mr. Michael Christian, said Amnesty International focuses on issues of human rights in all facets and that the organization had operated in Nigeria for the past 10 years, adding that the workshop was informed by the need to equip journalists with knowledge and skills to better report human rights issues.
Everything. And part of our focus areas is human rights education. Because we realize that many people don't know about their rights in Nigeria. And when you don't know about your rights, you can't ask for your rights. That's what prompted this training. We saw that headlines that we saw sometimes lacked the human rights empathy, whereby you report a case and you are not as kind as you should be or as conscious of the issues you're talking about. You are displaying victims' pictures, you are displaying their full names, addresses. People are being scarred, being victimized further. So that's where training came from, to teach journalists how best to report human rights stories with that lens. Gender, security, how you cover reports without putting yourself in danger. You have ethics, you have legal protections, and then you have journalism theory. So are the 5 pillars that we put this training around to make sure that you live here rounded and covered. We can't do all the work. We have brought them here. We chose you specifically for your media houses and your location. So we want you to go back and spread this word. So we work with volunteers and supporters mostly. Our volunteers help us when we go to locations that we can access, number one, or that we need an into. So we can reach out to them. They are the ones who are present there. We can't know your contact more than you. So we have questions about a certain locality, a certain location in this state, and reach out to a volunteer on location. Tell us when it's safe, what are the issues here. So that's how it works. So if you want to join that network of over 500,000 people in Nigeria, then that's the link. So you just go to our website, www.amnesty.org.ng/supporters. That's SUPPORTERS. That's amnesty.org.ng/supporters. And you can see the form to join us and everything you need to know about being a supporter.
The resource persons, including Professor Chijoke Abo, who lectured on press freedom and the law, navigating legal risk in journalism, Annie Agi, a barrister, University of Calabar, who lectured on journalism with a gender lens, protecting lives, shaping narratives, and Mr. John Omilabu, who taught on reporting under threats, practical safety strategies for journalists, gave practical examples of different reporting styles and their flaws in relation to gender sensitivity, legal framework, and security. They urged media practitioners to be conscious of their role in shaping public opinion, influencing policies, and holding government accountable in their reportage, while also ensuring their personal safety.
The whole essence of governance, as we see it, is a fundamental commitment to the security and welfare of the people. And that is in our constitutional jurisprudence, section 14, sub 2, paragraph B of our constitution. And there are very many things that can contribute to that. That is why Chapter 4 of the Constitution has eloquently listed out some of these rights, as it were. You can see them: right to life, dignity of the human person, right to personal liberty, fair hearing, and this is important, and then to protect private family life, then freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly and association, including the right to peaceful protests, freedom of movement, freedom of from discrimination, freedom. What is the freedom of the expression and the press? That's section 39. And others. And the right, I want to emphasize this, the right of people to own immovable property anywhere in Nigeria. Anywhere in Nigeria. And this brings to focus also, as part of enforcement of human rights, the whole essence of citizenship in Nigeria. In Nigeria today, can we say that we have citizenship, as it were? And if we have, are there rights attached to that Nigerian citizenship? Or are people just treated like cargo?
Basically, what I've talked about is ensuring that when you report, your reported, your headlines, your story impacts positively. Your story ensures fairness and justice to all concerned. You consider the victim. You're very careful with the language you use so that you don't further re-traumatize the victim. My words to journalists generally is that you must understand who you are. You are very powerful tools to shape and change stereotypes. You must never think that your reportage is just ordinary. What you do could alter a life, could encourage a survivor to speak up. It could actually change an entire narrative about how certain genders are perceived in the media. So you must use that powerful tool positively to advance causes and advance new ideologies.
Other lecturers, Dr. Kabiru Danladi of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, who lectured on applying media ethics in daily practice from code to conduct, and Hajia Zainab Okino, who lectured on journalism theory and practice, a human rights perspective, harped on what constituted good and bad journalism, emphasizing that ethics is not a luxury but a strategic asset for journalists.
And in the last 2 days, I've seen enthusiasm and interest. And even though there are so many challenges faced by journalists, but they are trying their best to ensure that they follow the ethical standards set by their profession. And I'm happy when I come to Southeast because there are so many stories, human rights violations and whatever. But my interactions with journalists from this region gave me hope because I have seen people who are courageous, strong, and men of principle, who believe that the practice of journalism requires you to maintain that ethical standard. What do you call it? You can find it in the NUJ code. So if you read the NUJ code and understand it very well, it will be very easy to transform these ethical principles in the way you report human rights issues.
And in the course of being our job, we conscious of the rights of the people we interact with, we interact with, and in the course of doing the job, we also be conscious of our own human rights.
Mr. Mustafa Muhammad, a consultant to the Amnesty International Nigeria, urged journalists to maintain the dignity of their profession and work on self-development.
The issue of human rights are everywhere. Please let us not close our eyes because it doesn't affect our families, our friends, our associates, our neighborhood, our tribe, our region, our religion.
Participants thanked the organization for the training, promising to put the knowledge gained into good use.
It is an eye-opener. It has opened our horizon as to how we should take human rights stories seriously, because an injury to one is an injury to all. We owe the society a lot of responsibility, first and foremost, to take human rights reporting seriously and to do it responsibly, ethically.
A lot of people are going through a lot of things, and the more we bring this to the fore, to the limelight, it will help to stop issues about domestic violence, human rights abuse, because these people we are talking about also, they equally have their own fundamental human rights.
My appreciation, one, is to the Amnesty International to keep it up. And like Oliver Twist, I would wish that, it could be sustained.
The training, mostly interactive, featured question and answer sessions to clarify gray areas, as well as presentation of certificates to participants. Participants in this training are happy at the end of this event, and they have commended Amnesty International for giving them the opportunity to be well educated and enlightened on how best to report human rights issues. From the venue of the event here in Enugu, I am Eunice Emiazia reporting.